All right. So last mate, let's get into some advice that you'd give to the subcontractors out there listening to this podcast on how you go about negotiating fair and balanced contracts.
So first is you need to, the first thing you need to understand is whoever is listening to this as a subcontractor, you are as part of a bid, you can interpret drawings, specifications, and a scope of work, right? These are all complex documents, right? So I don't care if you started off as a tradie and you built this huge business, right? There's one more document, and that is a contract.
Absolutely.
You got to understand the contract. You can't just ignore that part of it because it is so important. It's actually where most of the money comes down to. Is the contract. So you got to understand. You don't have to understand everything. I'm sure you don't understand everything in all drawings, but you got to be able to interpret it. So an engineer and architect will do the drawings. You can interpret them. The scope work will be drafted maybe by you, but anyway, you can interpret that. But a contract is drafted by a lawyer. You need to be able to interpret it, understand what it means. So the first thing is learn how to understand what the contract means. Ask questions. Then you need to understand what it means for your business, right? What the clauses in the contract mean for your business, and then which ones matter to you and which ones don't matter. Defects, liability periods, warranty periods for scaffolding companies, they don't care because they take their equipment off straight away. There's no defects, liability. It doesn't matter, right?
Everything's temporary works, right? For them.
Exactly. So stuff like that, right? So you got to go, okay, what's my battle and what's not my battle? Okay. And so the best way I think that you could do that is, aside from engaging a company to do it for you, is do a one-time, get in touch with a construction lawyer, do a one-time, look, here's a tricky contract the trickiest contract I've ever got. Can you walk me through each of these and explain to me in layman's terms what it means for my business? Go through that. Okay. And then, is this a big risk for me or not? So get that established.
What is my exposure? What is
my exposure? Okay. And then make a document that we would call commercial principles document, and then say, this is where we stand on these type of clauses. Okay. Then you're ready for it. And you can also use that as part of your bid. And you can say, our price is based on, we know we're going to sign your contract, but our price is based on the acceptance of these commercial principles. And it's a starting point, at least. And then you can have negotiation about them. But some of them, like, honestly, most construction subcontractors, even for, like, say a 20, 40, 50, 100 grand job, something small, they're still risking their entire company.
Oh, for sure.
Based on the contracts they're signed.
Mom and dad companies are. And I mean, think about if you're a major construction company, you've got 5 of those $100,000, $200,000 contracts, and you don't get paid on them. That's $1 million gone.
Well, not only that, but so there's the limitation of liability, and there's a consequential loss. They're too big. So consequential loss is loss of profit for your client. And so if you sign up to loss of profit for your client, if your client's loss of profit is bigger than your company, that's gonzo. That's it. Game over.
Interesting.
Right. So there's a lot of little things where you go, I never agree to this one. I never agree to this one. Right. And we've done over at 2,800 contract reviews and negotiations at this stage. And almost everyone, when we go back to them on consequential damage, consequential loss, they go, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. Almost as if, you caught us. It's fine. Let's get rid of it. Right. So there's a few of those. So if you don't ask, you won't get. Our average, and this is 82% of what we put forward gets agreed. Now, what I'm saying, what I want you to take from that is, that's the game. The game is they give you their, excuse my French, shittiest contract. Right. And they have backup clauses for everything. Right. So you go back and go, here's why I don't want this clause, and here's the reason to get it here, and then whatever. And then they'll give you their next one. The next clause, right? And then just by playing that game, you look professional, you end up signing a contract that has way less risk, which over time, because if you're going to be in business for at least 10 years, in that 10 years, something's going to go wrong. And you want to make sure when it does go wrong, that it's just a little blip. It's not a catastrophe.
Yeah. So the key takeaway I took from that is, if you don't ask, you don't get.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Knock and the door shall open.
Yeah. And the only thing I would say about that is when you do ask, make sure that the tone is semi-submissive,
Professional.
right? It's not like, take this out, put this in. It is, oh, this doesn't, here's the reason we don't think this is appropriate for us, or it's too risky for us, or we can't get our insurance company to sign up to something like this. We suggest that you take this out. Suggest, no demanding, and you get far better results.
Yeah, real interesting. Really, really interesting. Mate, that's been an extremely interesting chat. Like I've enjoyed having a yarn with you for the last 30 odd minutes. That was great.
It was fun, Andy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time and all the insights on contract administration and your insights with all your years of experience. It's been quite insightful. Thank you.
Well, for your listeners, we have a podcast called Construction Secrets, which is basically 10-minute, 15-minute pods of just going through these type of things. So we call it the money side of construction. So you guys are good at building stuff, but on YouTube, actually, if you search Construction Secrets, there's a playlist.
Yep.
And there is 16 videos that walks you through each of those things in the contract, every single thing. Okay.
We'll make sure we put a link to that in this video.
And then you go through, and then you're downloaded, you know everything that to look out for in the contracts, and then you're good to go.
Yep. Nah, that's great. That's awesome.
Okay.
Thanks for your insights, mate. Appreciate it.
No problem, Andy.
Yeah. Cheers.
Bye-bye.